Hello, VC YouTubers. Welcome. Tony's LPs are us. We have the Elvis Light, we have a pile of records to talk about. Talking about them really quickly. They're all favorites. They're probably your favorites. But what's unique about this pile is that they're all second records, sophomore records from these great artists. Some of them I have are reissues. Some of them are OG. I pulled out what was handy at this point. But the other night I was listening to this record. I haven't listened to it in probably 30 years. Don said it's a really good recording. So I picked it up out of my collection, found one that's near mint on the beautiful UA tan label. This is the original inner. Got some cowboy stuff on the back and, you know, excellent. It's probably excellent near mint. So I played, of course, the whole album, but the standout is Vincent and American Pie. And this record, it says on here, is dedicated to Buddy Holly. So American Pie is just an epic. And there's a lot of controversy about American Pie, or controversy or folklore. So I reached out and asked my friend Hank, who is a Pete Seeger aficionado, Arlo Guthrie aficionado. He's the one who wrote the book on Arlo recently I talked about. But it said in the Wikipedia section for American Pie that James Taylor, a few others, but Pete Seeger were in the chorus of American Pie. And he says that's purely a rumor. Pete Seeger wasn't there. And there you have it. So if you read about that in Wikipedia about American Pie, and definitely pick up American Pie. Pick up the original if you can. They're not that expensive on eBay. Probably been reissued a million times. It was reissued once with a few songs left out. Then it was reissued with the entire, all the entire tracks left in. So because this was a sophomore record, I said, wow. I said, that's an incredible sophomore record. I expected that to be his debut record because it was so good. I don't think he ever surpassed American Pie record as far as, you know, content. You know, Bob Dylan could have wrote American Pie. It has that epic movie-like feeling to it. But before I go on, I want to thank everyone again for stopping by. I hope everyone's doing well. And if you haven't subbed to our channel, Tony's LPs are us, please do so. I didn't talk about this, but about a month ago, I finally had business cards made up with a QR code. So if you click onto that QR code, you go right to Tony's LPs are us. Amazing, right? So I'm handing out cards now when I go to record shops and talk to kids about records. Store owners were taking my card. So hopefully we'll get more, you know, more interest with the channel. And it's always good for the algorithm. So another sophomore album is this one, Idlewild South. Great record. I just played it today. I pulled this one out. I played it. Really good dynamics. This is on Atco. This sounds unbelievable. I was really surprised. Must have cleaned it years ago because it was clean. I had a little char and air clean 2016 or whatever. But here is the yellow Atco. And on here is Hoochie Coochie Man, Please Call Home, Leave My Blues at Home. But Revival, which is unbelievable. Don't Keep Me Wondering, Midnight Rider, and in memory of Elizabeth Reed, which later on they do at Fillmore, and they expand that to from 6 minutes to 12 or 21 minutes. I think it's a whole side. And here's the record. Here's the rear. Great second album, sophomore album. Didn't do well at the box office coming out of the gate. It was later reissued with this record, Beginnings, which is the first two Allman Brother albums. They really took off when Fillmore East came out, I believe. They really took off, but this is Beginnings, the Allman Brothers Band. This has the first record. This is a non-gatefold Beginnings, and here's a gatefold Beginnings, which I have in my collection. And this has the first album, which has Trouble No More, Whip and Post. So later on they were legendary because they went and did those live at the Fillmore. Now what's interesting about this record is supposedly the first album of this album is remixed differently from the original debut album. So I haven't done an AB yet. I think I started it, but that's something I'm going to probably try to get into. Another one of the best second albums of all time. And like Sinatra said, love is always better the second time around. I've had a lot of friends who found love the second time around, and it worked out, which is great. And sometimes it works out in a record, sometimes it doesn't. If that sophomore record didn't do too well, a lot of times the band would their sales would diminish. Obviously, their concert bookings would diminish, and the record companies would be reluctant to sign them again. Not so much in the heyday of vinyl, but definitely the last 30 years, I would say. Now here's this great reissue from Mo-Fi, Abraxas, second record. I love it so much more than the first record, and this sets you off on a journey, jazz rock fusion at its finest. So here you have Abraxas, a freshman album. Now another album that doesn't get a lot of love anymore. This sophomore album. I mean, Abraxas. Here's another second album, A Saucer Full of Secrets. This is a great album. This is the reissue. I think I have the original upstairs, but this has Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, A Saucer Full of Secrets. This is the classic album, and this is a mono mix, so this really hits you hard. Remastered from the mono analog tapes by James Guthrie, Joel Planty, and Bernie Grundman, 2019. The original date was June '68 in the UK. So here you have A Saucer Full of Secrets. First one was, I believe, Obscured by Clouds, which is a great record in itself, great debut record, but only set them on a journey that would explode later on with Dark Side and Wish You Were Here and The Wall and etc., etc. Here's another one that doesn't get a lot of talk about, although it was part of the 75 series from Atlantic, from Analog Productions. This is Bad Company, Straight Shooter. Here you have Good Lovin' Got Bad, Feel Like Making Love, Shooting Star, classic. Side 1 is definitely the side. Side 2, Deal with the Preacher, Anna. This was recorded at Ronnie Lane's Mobile at Clearwell Castle, Gloucestershire, England, September '74. Cut at the Mastering Lab in L.A. And thanks to Peter Grant, because they're on the Led Zeppelin's record Swan Song label, Swan Song. So again, a second record that is incredible, and of course they went on to great heights, as all of these bands did for the most part. Here we have Chicago number 2. First album was Chicago Transit Authority. They had to cut that to Chicago because the real Chicago Transit Authority didn't like it. They said, we're Chicago Transit Authority. We're an entity. We are a city. We are a city entity, a city, organization. We are a department. You cannot have it. So they shut it. I think Chicago made it. I think Chicago Transit Authority wouldn't have worked as much as Chicago. This is an OG pressing. Here is the. This is the Stephen Wilson remix, which is very cool. I like this record a lot. Really haven't gotten down to the nuts and bolts with AB in it, but for a second album, they're just incredible. And I just saw my good friend Steve's band that he plays in. It's a Chicago tribute band called Jersey Transit Authority, and we saw them the other day. So look them up. Jersey Transit Authority on Facebook. Just an amazing group of guys. 4 horns, guitars, awesome. Steve plays bass and does the Peter Cetera stuff. Keyboards, Peter Lamb, I guess, or Robert Lamb. Just amazing. Everybody who plays that instrument must sing the songs of that particular Chicago artist, like Terry Kath, for instance. Here you have the greatest second album of all time, Led Zeppelin 2. I didn't throw the Beatles in or the Stones or, the common stuff. If you look up greatest sophomore albums of all time, you'll see a few of these, but you won't see many of these. And I think that they're just tremendous. And like I said, some of these bands went on to greater and bigger things, which is amazing. So here you have Zeppelin 2. This is a reissue. You can see the back has that negative. These were a few years ago when Jimmy Page remastered the whole catalog. Of course, you have Elvis, This Year's Model, which is a cool title. I used to have this stand-up. I gave it to my friend Giacomo. He was a bigger Elvis fan than me. I hope he still has it. Here's the inner. Inner sleeve is pretty unique. Very punk. Very new wave. And here is the record itself. And of course we have the second record from Black Sabbath, Paranoid. You can't get any better second. Like Frank said, the second time around is always better. Here you have the great label from the Vertigo label. This is a German import. It's not a British Vertigo, but great record. This sounds fantastic. And then we have Beck Ola. Now this is the Beck Ola double record that came out with the first record and second record with Rod Stewart. This has Truth. Beck Ola has All Shook Up, Girl from Mill Valley, Jailhouse Rock, The Hangman's Knee, and Rice Pudding. And of course, you know that Rod Stewart was the master here right around the time of Faces. Ronnie Lane was in the band, Nicky Hopkins. It was just probably the first incarnation of what became or what was to be Zeppelin. I know they were from the Yardbirds, Beck and Page, and I think Beck had that concept and Page took it. I know the Page people out there and the Beck people out there know more about it, and I don't want to get into it. I know a lot, but I don't want to make this about this segment about that. Here's the original, the Jeff Beck group, Beck Ola, Costa Nostra. It has a second title on there, which you don't see it too often. And here's the Orange Epic, and you can see how clean this is. So one of my favorite second albums of all time, the Jeff Beck group, the second album, Beck Ola, Cosa Nostra, if I'm saying that with the right attitude, Jersey attitude. And of course the second record, now they had records that were Tyrannosaurus Rex, two other records besides T-Rex, but this is T-Rex's second record, and that's Electric Warrior. Engineered, I believe, by Tony Visconti, who is a Jersey guy, great guy. I'm Facebook friends with him, although he doesn't know who I am. Great shot there of our protagonist, who passed away much too young in a car accident. I think his Jag. Mark Bolan, Mickey Finn. Just amazing. You had other people that played, and also you had the guys from the Turtles doing backup. Howard Kalin and Mark Volman, backing vocals. Produced by Tony Visconti for Straight Ahead Records. I think this is a Hypnosis album cover. And then another one that's unbelievable, second record. Doesn't get any better than Tapestry. This is a great recording. This album has some noise to it because of the early American records or vinyl. But this has I Feel Earth Move. This record sounds great. I never bought the one step. I think there was a one step. I didn't buy it. I'm trying to not buy too much. I wanted it, but I didn't get it. And here is the, you can see this is in near mint condition. Look at that. I think some of the originals had like a textured, I have an original, a textured jacket. This must be a later pressing, although there's no barcode on it. This looks like it's Yeah, I don't know. Ode. It's Ode on Columbia. And there it is. So I'm not sure. I didn't go through the dead wax. But this is an excellent. This is near mint. I really didn't feel I needed to buy an extra one. So hope you're enjoying this. All these records are in my playlist constantly. All these records are comfort food records. And all these records, I would hope, are in your collection. If not, easily obtainable. And here's the last one. I only did 12. Here's the last one, appropriately called Second Helping, with Sweet Home Alabama. Call me the breeze. Don't ask me. No questions. Just an amazing record. Just sounds so good. Leonard Skinner. First one was pronounced Leonard Skinner, so now we all know how to pronounce it. Here's the original MCA inner. So there you have it. Some cool records, all sophomore records, second time around. And I think these all went on to huge careers, record-wise, vinyl-wise, except for Don McLean's record. I don't think Don McLean could ever surpass what American Pie did as far as record sales, and not just record sales, but just part of the Americana music. It's part of the, as far as I'm concerned, the American Songbook of Rock and Roll, 71, I believe. So bye-bye American Pie. Just like I said, if you read the lyrics, it gives you the chills, and the guitar, and then there's Vincent's on that record, and it's really a well-recorded record. He is sitting right up front with a great guitar accompaniment that he plays guitar. And the Allman Brothers record that I played, that Revival, the original, just sounds so good. Really good soundstage, really good separation. Same with this MCA, but I think the Allman Brothers, takes it to a different level. So keep rocking. Hope you appreciated it. Hope you appreciate the little segment. And what else can I say? Thanks a lot. If you haven't subbed, please consider subbing. Really helps us out. Take care. Hope everyone's doing great. See you soon. Ciao.